All right, so now I'm gonna have a call with Sophia. She's a girl in the US, and we're gonna have a call via Skype. So let's do this. Just gonna give her a ring. Hey Sophia, here's Mark. How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Thank you for taking the call in time. Yeah, just give me like a little introduction, like 1 minute. Tell me a bit about you, and then we'll get straight into it.
Okay.
Yeah. So tell me a bit about yourself, like age, what you do, and so on.
Well, I am 11. I play quite a bit of sports, like basketball, soccer, volleyball, and I'm starting softball and track.
When you say trick, you mean tricking?
Like running.
Oh, running track. Okay.
Yes.
So quite athletic sort of type of sport. Okay, great. And how did you find my channel and this whole thing, challenge-wise, and so on and so forth?
Well, I was looking through YouTube, trying to find something to help me, and I stumbled upon your channel, and I started watching it, and I subscribed, and I liked it.
Okay, great. Sounds good. Yeah, so in terms of your questions, if you want, just fire away and we'll get started.
Okay. So do you have any, I need to find, a workout or something that I can do that is, easier or something. Because all the ones that I have found are hard for my age.
Sure. I mean, just for me to understand where you're at right now. So you're 11.
Yes.
How tall are you? How much do you weigh and stuff like that? Just give me sort of a bit of an idea.
I'm around 5 foot and I weigh 100 pounds.
Okay. And what kind of body fat would you say do you have? Do you have an idea?
No, not really.
Okay. How would you consider yourself if someone asks you what kind of type of body shape are you? What would you say?
Well, more round.
Round. So if someone says you're athletic, you wouldn't say that's true?
No, I wouldn't. I just don't feel I'm in as much shape as I should be or could be.
Okay. Now, you do a lot of sports, right? You do your running track, what did you say, soccer and basketball.
Yes.
How often do you train a week and how does that look like?
Well, I have practice 4 days a week and then normally 2 games over the weekend or just 1.
And how long is your practice sessions?
Around 2 hours, hour and a half.
Right. Now, generally speaking, when you talk about a workout, what are you actually looking for?
I'm trying to more bulk right now or something, get a little stronger for shooting and running faster.
Sure. So the whole idea of the gym is rather than losing weight, it's more that you're able to perform better in your sport?
Both.
Both. Okay. And since when did you start all of your, let's say, sporting career? When did you get into sports?
3 around. Oh, I was 3 around now.
Oh wow, 3 years. That's so you're you're very active. That's great. Now, in terms of exercise, it sounds like you're doing a lot already. Would you agree?
Yes. Well, sorta. I feel because normally whenever I come home, I don't do anything besides, sit and, maybe eat. And that's another thing, I want to start eating a lot healthier, too.
Yeah, I guess the whole eating thing
Yes.
is probably the issue more or less because
Yeah.
when it comes to working out, I don't like recommending to people saying you should work out, let's say 7 days a week, because if you're already working out 4 days a week, let's say 2 hours every session, and you have 2 games, there's not much room for doing much more. Would you agree?
Yes.
So just give me an idea of what does your food look like what kind of food and how often do you eat it?
Well, normally I will have breakfast, and then I have like a snack at school, then lunch, and that's another thing with my school lunch. It's kind of hard for like packing healthier things in that, and then I'll have probably a snack when I come home from school after practice, and then dinner.
Okay, so you have like 6 meals a day. Now, what kind of meal? Give me an idea of your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the snacks as well.
Well, for breakfast, I'm trying to have like hard-boiled eggs and yogurt and oatmeal like every solid days, and then for snack, it just kind of depends on the day and what I have. And then lunch, I have like turkey and strawberries, carrots, and then like a granola bar with like chocolate. And then after school, I sometimes maybe have like a cookie or yogurt with strawberries dipped in yogurt or something like that. And then for dinner, I have like mostly pasta or a lot of carbs.
Okay. Well, it seems like you're quite aware of what is protein, what is carbs, and what are fats. I mean,
Yes.
most 11-year-olds are not, so that's already a big plus point for you. Now, generally, what I don't like to do is put kids on a calorie restriction, like saying you should eat less because you're in a growing phase. You should not be in a calorie restriction. But when you look at all of your day, what would you say is the food? Because you said you want to change your food and eat healthier. What do you consider not being on point in that day?
Normally, whenever I come home from school, because I'm hungry from after practice, and then I just start like eating foods that are a lot more unhealthy, like a cookie or.
Yeah. And when you say cookie, is it one cookie or is it the whole thing?
It's more like two like smaller like Oreos or something like that.
Okay. I mean, that would normally not be a problem. I'm just trying to figure out when, let's say, give me an idea of the body shape you're in right now, and you said you're sort of, you find yourself sort of in a round shape. Did that all of a sudden happen, or did you gain that weight over a longer period of time?
Yeah, it was over a longer period of time.
Okay.
Like whenever I was 3 and up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In terms of your questions, what kind of question would you want to have answered specifically?
Probably the food, like eating healthier, and
Yeah.
what you suggest I should be eating, or.
Sure. Now, the first thing when we talk about food is, because you are in your youth, I mean, like, the first thing is no calorie restriction at all. So you should be eating in a way intuitively, meaning you should eat when you're hungry, and not because the clock tells you. So if you get up in the morning and you don't feel like eating breakfast, then it's not a big deal if you don't. Same thing at night when you come home and you feel like, I'm really starving after your workouts. Then you should have, the pasta you have for dinner, you might pull it forward and eat it after your workouts just to get the carbs in. You just deplete it over the 2 hours of workout. But also, this whole thing of counting calories and macros and stuff, I wouldn't wonder too much about it, because at the end of the day, in the stage you are at, you're very, very comfortable to be able to cope with different sorts of amounts. So when some people say, you hear that a lot, low carbs, high protein, low fat and stuff, this does not really apply for kids, because at the end of the day, you need basically everything you can get to grow. But what I would consider is having an idea of what is a healthy food and what is unhealthy. So let's say all the cookies and processed stuff, of course, it's not the best food to eat. But then when you look at your total food intake, let's say for 100%, I always sort of preach people, try to be good 80%, and 20% you can sort of fall off the wagon. It's not a big deal, because no one can really stick 100% to a diet.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you eat a cookie after you had your workouts, it's not like I'm saying don't do that. If you really feel like it, go for it. But if you feel like, oh, I'm not really hungry, I'm just grabbing it because it's there, then you might want to think twice about it.
Yeah, I feel like that's mainly one of my bigger problems, just because it's there.
Yeah. So, for example, what you could do is prepare a little bit better, meaning think of your day of, would I assume that your days are more or less always structured in terms of you go to school, you have your sporting routines and so on and so forth? I mean, does that change every week, or is it sort of set for a week?
It's set.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, because that makes it easier for you to plan, meaning let's say you have workouts on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, then you know how you can structure your food. So, for example, when you come home, you could tell your mom or dad or whoever cooks your food that you prepare the food for the day, and then once you're in that routine, it's going to be really easy because you don't have to think about what is available. So when you come home after your workouts, it's not like, oh, there's a cookie, because you planned for it.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So how would you do that? Give me an idea.
Well, I don't really know. I obviously have my parents' help, and my babysitter is pretty good with that stuff too, helping me with that. But I feel I have a hard time sticking to it, whatever I have.
And why is that? Why would you say is that?
Well, I don't really know. I guess it's just like a bunch of distractions. Like if someone has like a birthday at school or something, and they bring in treats, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, birthdays is like the 20%, right? It's not a big deal if it's not every day. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, we have like a lot of sweets or stuff at our house, because like we have like cookies and donuts,
Sure,
and cupcakes sometimes too, and that like we always have that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, what I would suggest there is there's nothing wrong with having it at your house. The problem is if you, let's say, is it just you that want to change, or would you say is it your mom and dad and spouse as well?
I would say mainly just me.
Okay. So, for example, what you could do is you could have a conversation with your mom and dad and say, look, Mom, I really want to change, and maybe I'm not sure. This is an assumption I'm making.
Yeah.
Maybe they're buying it for you and not for them. Is that what I?
Maybe. Well, my mother likes to try things a lot. Like she likes to get things to try them.
Sure. But what I'm trying to say is maybe you have to have this conversation with your mom and say to her, look, I actually want to change my diet. And maybe it's not best if you would have these treats all the time at home. If we really want them, we go out and buy them once.
Yes.
Just a suggestion. I don't know. I mean, it's something you have to...
Yeah.
Okay. What else would you like to know? Is there anything else?
Well, I do, like, is there any, like, smaller, like, 6, 5, 10-minute workouts? There are things that I could do to keep me occupied rather than laying down and doing nothing for some.
Yeah, so generally what I would do when it comes to working out, and especially if you're in your age group, you should not think about weights at all. So what you can focus on is body weight training, because in your growing phase, you don't need to hit the actual weights to see effects. You can get really good results by just using body weight. Meaning, you could do squats, burpees, pull-ups, push-ups, dips, all that stuff, which is all body weight related. The call dropped. Yeah, so one thing I'd like to say is when you're in the sort of kid age group, youth age group, you don't want to hit weights at all. I mean, weights is something like the gym, you just avoid that. All you really need to focus on is body weight training.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I want to lose more weight.
Yeah.
So that way I can have...
Absolutely. You can do strength conditioning like squats, burpees, push-ups, pull-ups, dips. All that stuff is really, really good for you, and you will respond to it very, very well, especially in your age. Now, you could even go to... Do you know what high-intensity interval training is? HIIT training?
No, but I have heard of it before.
Yeah, so, for example, instead of... let's say doing 10 bodyweight squats and just repeating them, to get a bit more out of your body weight is doing them with a higher intensity. So for example, you would do, if squatting is not a problem, if you can do it without any pain and everything is fine, you would do something like in 20 seconds, you do as many squats as you can do, very, very quick bodyweight squats, and then you give yourself a 10-second break. And you do 20 seconds on again. You do that sort of 4 times. And that's just 4 minutes, but you should be quite exhausted after that.
Yeah.
That's just an idea. But before jumping into that, I would probably start by learning every sort of body weight motion first, from push-up to everything. And then once you've got that, then you can increase the intensity.
Yes, I understand. I'll definitely start doing that.
Yeah. All right. We've got like 2 minutes left. What would you like to discuss in the last 2 minutes?
So with like losing weight, do you think just the body weight workouts would be the best thing? I mean, the high intensity workouts and everything would be the best thing in eating like the 80% and the 20% like that. Do you think that's the best, or do you have any other suggestions for that?
Well, in terms of losing weight, I think the key will be your food intake. I mean, like I said, because you're already very, very active, the body weight training will not really do that much of a difference, because it might help you in your performance in terms of your sport, in let's say sprinting and so on, if you do a couple of squats and stuff, so you might be faster, which is good. And obviously you have a higher calorie output on that day, meaning you will burn more calories throughout the day. That's for sure. Yeah. But to focus on your diet is mandatory, because most of the time with all my clients I see, the reason why they are overweight is because more food is entering their mouth than they actually are aware of. And maybe it's not the amount, it's also the wrong food. So what I would do if I were you, I would focus on especially the diet, have a conversation with your mom, check out what's going on, and maybe just be aware. Just have a look 1 week. You just sort of track your food in a sense of really pay attention to what you're eating, because that sometimes helps you. Because you said to me, well, yeah, I eat maybe 1 or 2 cookies, but maybe it's 5 cookies. You know what I mean? Because you might not be aware of it. So once that happens, that shift, you might be able to say, maybe I should stop now, or maybe I should do something differently. It's as simple as that, really. And I don't want you to have an unhealthy relationship with food. When we say restrict your calories, you're only allowed to eat 1,000 calories or something. That's crap. That shouldn't be the case with you. You should be eating when you're sort of hungry, and that's another good indication. So like you said, when you come from your sport and you said, I'm really hungry, that's the time when you should eat. And anytime else, when mom says, well, finish the plate because you should be, whatever, I'm just making that up, right? Yeah. Then you should say, well, I'm not hungry right now, so I don't need that food. It's something, it's very, very intuitive, but if you can get in tune with your body, that would be really, really good.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah? Cool. So what's the key takeaway from this call for you?
That I should be more aware of what I am eating, and I should have a conversation with my mother about the food, that like junk food and cupcakes and that stuff, about what is in the house every day.
Right. What else? Anything else?
To that I should eat whenever I'm hungry, not just because, not eat at certain times, and there is no calorie limit on what I should have each day.
Yes, good. Yeah, great. I mean, well, I hope this helped you a little bit, Sophia. And by all means, if you still have questions and stuff, just pop me over an email. I'm happy to help you out or send you some more information for sure. But if you follow my channel, you should get more or less everything you need. I hope.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what time is it where you're at right now?
It's 3:30.
Oh, so you still have time. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Any plans for today? Still some training to do, or?
Yes, I have a basketball game tonight. I think I have two basketball games, and then at like 6.
Oh, wow.
So for right now, I'm just...
Well, good luck. I'm gonna, wish you all the best for that. And
Thank you.
I'll see you around on the channel.
Yeah.
Okay. Take care, Sophia.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Right, so this was a call with Sophia, and she seems like a really spot-on girl, and it's very, very common, actually, that kids are doing a lot of workouts in terms of, like you heard her say, I do like 2 hours for 4 days, and then I have my training sessions. She's got a basketball game now, so kids are super active, and that's fine. So now going out there and saying you have to do another 5 workouts, bodyweight workouts, is absolutely the wrong approach, because that will be counterproductive. Doing 1 or 2 a week, maybe if it fits in. But most of the time, why we are overweight, and it doesn't matter if you're a kid or you're an adult, is because we're eating more than we actually need. So that's why I want you to sort of monitor what's going in here for a week, like I said and suggested to Sophia, and that really will help you figure out what is going on, and then you're able to make these little changes. But yeah, especially with kids, I want to make sure that this is something that's very, very close to my heart, because I've been training kids ever since I was 16 years old. I trained kids I think I trained over 15,000 kids in my life, and I love training kids, and I think it's important that they get the support they need, especially if you're a parent watching this. Make sure that when the kid comes to you, that you just don't ignore it, because it is important to them. If they come to you and say, Mom, I don't want that cupcake, but you are buying it because you feel like you want to give the kid a treat, maybe it's not the best treat to give them. Maybe a good idea is giving them an education in terms of food. Maybe you should educate yourself as a parent first. Or if the kid comes to you and says, Mom, you know what, I need to change something, maybe then it's a good time for both of you to have a discussion and to realize what's going on. Because at the end of the day, that is what's important. When we get older, we want to make sure we get older in a healthy state. Because me as a personal trainer, I see it every day. People come to me when it's more or less, not over, but it's at a very, very limit of people. They're crying for help. They're coming to me saying, Mark, I need to change because the doctor said so. I have high blood pressure. I have this. I'm fat. I'm this. I'm obese. So that's where I come in. And especially as a kid, you can set yourself up to be as healthy as possible in your life if you just follow a couple of simple things we just discussed here on this call. It's really, really simple. Yeah. So if you've got further questions, leave a comment in the comment box below. I know I didn't answer all of them, but obviously this is already going longer than expected. But I hope it helped you out. So cheers, guys. Punch the like button, punch the subscribe button. See you guys in the next one.